voice of the Consortium that happens to be National Consortium on Accountability. We echo far and wide beyond even the borders of Sierra Leone. Because for us, we see it as a kind of national issue, but it also borders on a very sensitive one, more especially so when it involves that of one of the most important family, which is the first family of the Republic of Sierra Leone. And we call you all, ladies and gentlemen, for us to express our concerns, our thoughts, and more especially so, to call on the attention on the national institutions, but most importantly that of Parliament, in making sure that they do the needful, so that at the end of the day, we sanitize not only the government or the governance architecture, but that of the citizen. Because for us, we respect the first family, and by extension, the first lady, whom was publicly, should I say, embarrassed at the state opening of Parliament sometimes last Thursday. So we are here today so that you can really echo our voices beyond this world and beyond the borders of Sierra Leone and to the wider populace, globally, so to speak. So once more, I want to thank you all for your coming, and also pray that you will have a fruitful deliberation by listening to our voices, so that you, the media, the first estate, which happens to be one of the most important weapons when you talk about democracy. Democracy cannot thrive. The fathers of democracy, or the crafters of democracy, were not making mistake at the time when we actually institute certain norms, and that involves the first estate, you, the media, us, the civil society, and the parties, political parties and politicians. So we checkmate the excesses of the judiciary, the executive, and that of the legislative. So we are calling on you today to listen to our voice in connection with what was stated against the first lady on that particular legislative. So once more, I welcome you all, and I pray and hope that we have a fruitful discussion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen. We're very much happy for our presence here this morning. I can say this is a very important gathering. We don't gather there for learn voices on a very important issue. Although many actors in our country, they don't describe what happened as a very unprecedented and an unfortunate incident. What happened at Parliament on that state opening, it was not only an uncivilized act, I can go further to say it was unparliamentary, and it was totally uncalled for. As a country where a country of law, it's about time we begin to operate within the confines of the law. The presidency in any country is not something to joke about. The presidency is a very important institution in any country. Let's talk about our own Republic of Sierra Leone. The First Lady is the wife of the sitting president of the Republic of Sierra Leone. She deserves our respect, she deserves our honor, and she deserves everything that we accord to the presidency. When you disrespect the First Lady, now any country, that the president, you don't disrespect indirectly. And therefore, like my colleague don't rightly state, we don't come here today for vehemently tell the public, say what if the people they do in Parliament, they not be supposed to do it. And I want to let the public know again, say this is very unprecedented. Nowhere in the whole world they don't ever denigrate the office of the First Lady like they did on Thursday. There is nowhere in the world who said they don't dehumanize the office of the First Lady like it happened here. Why should we set the bad precedent in our country? Why therefore some people for me the embarrassing example in Africa? It is not good at all. Before I give here, or before we learn the podium, to the executive director for read the press statement in English. I want to also say the speaker needs to apologize unconditionally. He don't need to give a condition for apology. Because what happened, it happened under a government. He needs to tell the people of Sierra Leone, not just the First Lady, he needs to apologize to the people of Sierra Leone for allowing our wells or the wells of the parliament to be used as an orchestrated center to bring molestation to the office of the First Lady. We need to set an example so that to pick them when small, then when they grow up, they will live by that example so we can have a better Sierra Leone. And again, before I give the podium to Mr. Ahmed Yila for read the press statement in English, I want to also know say we as Sierra Leoneans them, the way we treat we leaders them, now how the world will buy them. If we don't treat we leaders them well, the world will buy them well. If we put them in a state of condescending in pictures, the world not will buy them in a respectful manner. So therefore, let's join the previous speaker for welcome now to this very, very important press conference. This is not just a press conference. It's like addressing a very, very cardinal issue that we come to. A boiling point. Somebody jokingly tell me, say, we'll not forget about this thing, but you know, no. This is very important. If we talk about respecting our constitution, respecting our laws, it starts here. It begins here. And the office of the First Lady is one office who not for disrespect. We all went to the convention. When I say we, I was part of the SLPP. We went to that convention. I observed it. I for sure did not support the post where the First Lady the one for me chairman. But that don't mean say the First Lady in office they for condescend in the public. Who's an international guest the day, everybody did it. That mean could call on the speaker for discharge. Now honorable apology. And you know the stop there. This is a PR system. People that they say, oh, that APC starter. No, we need for set the ball right. It precipitated from the SLPP angle. The SLPP launched the ball. Then make APC they follow. So the SLPP need to tell the world say SLPP is a civilized party. We will institute an immediate investigation into what happened on that day, and the one they were responsible will make sure say we will suspend them as a political party, because when they say the SLPP, they know SLPP for being a law-abiding party. So let the law-abidingness begin from within the party itself. So now we go call on Hindolo Conte for let he explain the picture of the scene of Parliament on that day.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry for where I got. I think say you call chair don't come. We we don't come because not because we don't want delay. Make in co-chair institute which we have. So Mr. Mansari, we will. So just like what we said, we not get for take this lightly when it comes to the issue we get for the first family. Any partner in the world, you know they play with the first family. So for me, we reduce the first family. People they say they molested the first lady. People say not only the first lady they molest. They molest the president of this country. Because that particular day, now the president Mundi they invite the first lady. Now the president in occasion. So if the first lady don't go, then you disregard and molest them that way, just like waiting this man said. We are talking about PR system. And the SLPP don't go through the convention. We not feel say Parliament be owned by SLPP alone. The Parliament of Sierra Leone, now we all parliaments. So if the parliamentarians in the day, we they pay them from the consolidated fund, now we they pay them salary. By rights, they're supposed for the debate on the push where the damage people in this country. They're supposed for the debate on the bad roads the way they happen in this country. They're supposed for the debate about what we call the medical facility in this country. Not to forgo and go sing a song called Kokoros. You know what it means? For make you tell somebody, say, in Kokoros, and when they talk about the first family, it's uncivilized. So what we begin for take tomorrow? Some of we supposed to take we begin in a parliament for go learn something, for go get somewhere, you know, for impact on the knowledge. You feel saying that Kokoros they get for go study, that Kokoros they get for go learn a parliament. So we want for say the PR system, the new executive of the XLPP, make them start for use what we call the PR system. Make the only one the way voice that particular thing there, because that's something where we don't do research on. There be even print polos, t-shirts, where we write for like Kokoros for votes and the parliament. The parliament, not to Congo market, not to Dove Court. If you want for settle a Dove Court, not that we dey try for demoralize the people. Then if na business you want to go do, ask for business money, make you go. But if we elect you as parliamentarian, now for go do something responsible. But what happen in parliament is irresponsible. We want to tell them, say, therefore apologize to the people of this country, therefore apologize to the first family, therefore apologize to even we picking them when we view television on that day. Because the signal where they send is not good for Sierra Leone. And for the women, I want to see by now that the women therefore don't galvanize. And sure say because a slap to one woman, now slap to everybody. They humiliate a woman they not for sit down, not to only on political something they for talk. It's high time they take the podium for call on the speaker. Yes, then they say the speaker not be there. But I feel say by right, we not ever see them under the leadership of Abel Strong. Take out to the Abbas Bunga and others. But under this dispensation, we don't see too much of what we call childishness. And we not for the childish where we did at the well of parliament. So therefore be responsible since we pay them salary, therefore at least defend and provocation. When you provoke somebody to anger, we know what it means. Not just to go around there, they talk, say the first lady sit down. For same signal for a woman, in fact, if not a very strong woman, if you not be strong, are they for collapse. Say he put earphone, it don't get for put earphone. It don't get for same signal, say she's not happy. And it's good make the woman stand up and tell people they say not happy. So one way or the other, we will also blame His Excellency the President. Because me when she don't know when people they fit tell me your way, I said that they wanted to prison. So this now the signal, the message we send to the president. And therefore take action. We see ministers then at the podium. Then they smile. Then they laugh. Then they jubilate. Where before saying that they're supposed to go brief the president. We see the government leader. They say you president the camp. It's not only a president, but the leader of a political party. We are humiliating work. We are humiliating on that day. Nothing for smile about? No, we don't need for smile. We for take them strongly. So to the media, now we tell the international community, say, tell the presidency, say, tell parliament, say, the people of this country are not happy. And if they're not happy, for even say the first lady for apologize, if it may not be the first lady, for walk out of parliament on that day. But since you don't walk out because of a man you expect, President, we don't need for take action. A need for take urgent action. Some else for role. Because that one is a disgrace to the presidency. And when you disgrace the president, you don't disgrace the people of this country. So on that note, we will rest the case and allow other speakers therefore say something. And whatever that the question, we are ready to answer to them. But the House of Parliament, some people need to be withdrawn. Since in fact the PR system, make other people replace them. Because they will not be responsible to attend on our thing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hindolo Conte, for your very splendid performance. We now turn to Mr. Mansare. Melvin, welcome, my co-chair. So we'll turn the podium over to you for letting back make you speech before we go to the reading of the press statement.
I want to thank you, Mr. Chairman, co-chair, and the organizers of this press conference, and to members of the Fourth Estate, and to they are belong, and they are always belong, and long live solidarity forever. I'm sure many journalists and your mom at the floor, Melvin and Anton, co-chair as well. So, firstly, let me establish the fact here that Asidoya in two capacities. Asidoya also in the capacity of Section 11 of the Constitution of Sierra Leone, which makes me a journalist, and by virtue of being a journalist, I don't cover public interest matters, and over the last 10 to 15 years, I've amassed a lot of wealth of experience in covering the news that I think the public accept me as an opinion leader. So if the organization call me here, they call me here not because I'm a journalist, but because they believe say I'm an opinion leader. Secondly, on Section 13 of the Constitution, we all have rights as citizens, we spell out very clearly. And let me begin by the onset for say, the First Lady in matter, for me personally and this team, a public interest matter, because although the First Lady in office is a conventional office, like ceremonial office, we get state institutions we don't establish, say the Ministry of Finance is financing this office, which means it's a public office. And the Constitution of Sierra Leone in Section 13 gives every citizen the right for all government accountability. And in this case, the accountability cause here is, I'm sure the question of everyone can just know, was it right or wrong as to how the First Lady was treated and how she reacted? Again, let me state, the one who they say, and the First Lady say, by the way, I don't want to meet with the First Lady, I'm not Sabiam, and one of my journalists, them, I have senior colleagues here, they can dig the news. By the way, on the subject matter that the First Lady, no, not Tina. Section 13 of the Constitution, not say, Salon people for Tina to the President. Section 13 of the Constitution say, Salon people for respect the national flag and the national anthem. And go and look, colleague journalists, go and investigate. The First Lady don't sing up in all the occasions when it comes to the national anthem. That is what a national obligation is. And I will go to my notes quickly, Mr. Co-Chair, because I think so only for steady conversation. These are very senior colleagues. Yes, sir. And when we talk, only they come up from civil society and when I bring me on board, I think my duty here is from a media perspective. All right, there have been a lot of talk around several issues we don't follow. On parliamentary protocol, whether she breached it or not, I want to say, I think parliamentary protocol violates itself in this case. Because the parliamentary practice that 2 or 3 days before the president is going to parliament, somebody the commander state house, in this case, when the state house liaison to parliament, for arrange how who that the campus, who side they go sit down, when you get for Canada well, and all that. That is a joint collaboration between the protocol of parliament and the protocol of state house. So if we get a situation where the First Lady allege that it has been the custom and tradition where you go to parliament and the speaker first, now the speaker in suit, and then sit there and talk all and back up. And in this case, according to her, she was rushed and ushered into the well. Honorable colleagues of the Fourth Estate, you have your critical thinking and you will ask the critical questions. So whether she breached protocol, for the fact that what they used to do to her, they not do her, it sends a different message. Another issue was the issue of did she breach protocol. I think I will not explain that. Again, I say Parliament violates the own protocol because in this case, if you invite somebody as stranger and in reception, you don't organize her in such a way that I the kind sign and when the kind sign, all that was not arranged. I think that was also an issue. Did she not stand for the national anthem? Yes, she did, and she has always been doing. And not TNAP in this case, yes, and not TNAP. But according to her, and when I went on Facebook live stream and in text, she did that as a result of one, according to one of the representatives of her indirectly, Dr. Sigurd Blyden, to have for ground the noise 9 years, basically. But again, Fambolem, let me talk this, my opinion on this. I think the First Lady was protesting. That is the bottom line action. She was protesting in reaction of waiting happening to her. And again, we ask ourselves, members of the further states and people of Sierra Leone, now crying for protest in our parliament if something happening in our parliament will not lie with you. That's a question for we all for us. There are so many other issues around whether again and they ask me again. Somebody they say the First Lady again. I'm not the spokesperson for the First Lady. Let me ask you, say, what criminal or civil law the First Lady violates? Let anybody give me a section of the Constitution and any other law, including the standing orders of Parliament. We're not above the Constitution of Sierra Leone. Let somebody help me to let the public understand that. Did the Speaker of Parliament and First Lady, of course, I don't think the Speaker protects the First Lady at all, because we don't see case of Abbas Mundu, we don't see case of other speakers, where sometimes they caution MPs, where they caution even strangers. We don't see even case study of speakers telling people to put banners down on public interest matters. So why the announcer, somebody says speaker was not there? That's not an excuse, because Parliament gets an administration where officially should be presided over by the clerk. Was the clerk in action? Assuming that it was the ceremonial event not proceeded, but the announcer was the announcer in a position to caution anybody. She was not protected, and if she was not protected, it's a constitutional right to protest. No, watching America on the Black Lives Matter and other things that happen in America, where some people are in the for the national anthem of the United States. Other people not any longer than in long. Donald Trump even said some of them people and if they not begin to nap, it will take action against them. Protests can be taken in different forms, and this I think is like a case for land. As to other intricacies with the politics around it, I think if anybody is to be blamed, the SNP must blame themselves. And then first go sing Kokoros against the First Lady. And nobody, including the leader of the SLPP, who is the president, never checkmated that. If you are the leader of the party and the president of the nation, certain things outside the beginner, that was a public incident. So at this juncture, there are so many questions. I don't want to preempt your questions, senior colleagues. But Coach here, I think this is the basis for the conversation, and we'll come to the statement.
Thank you very much, Mr. Melvin, for being brief and to the point. We will now go to Fakman Samansare, who gender focal person. For let me just give you a brief input about, okay, I think she's not yet ready for that. We'll go to Mr. Galima, Mohammed Galima, the Executive Director. Guy Galima, okay, Galima. Sorry for not pronouncing your name well.
It's okay, sorry. Hello everybody. I'm not too happy, actually. I'm the Director of Programs, Jerry I think the attitude of the area of Parliament was very baseless, unfortunate, and I think comparatively, if you look at they make all the way big, because if you look at people, they all have both say they are charged with the responsibility of making sure that yes, they pass laws, regulations, rules, and whatsoever to make sure the community is safer for women and girls. Give a space for them to participate at all levels. Then they behave that kind of way. They what are we there before? So to me, it's unfortunate, and we condemn that to the highest esteem. We understand, what you want to let the public know is there's a difference between party dynamics and national issues. Same thing happened at the convention. I was there at the elections. The same thing came up. You know, me take them in good faith because that was their party. It was party dynamics and internal dynamics. It's okay. But taking that above to Parliament, to national issues, to embarrass them to us, it's unfortunate. My organization currently, tomorrow we'll get a press release, working with other 10 different organizations, working in that community as safer for women and girls, to clearly debunk and absolutely call on Parliament for letting it go out to the public and say, no, what they did was uncalled for. Because like, we'll try so much for advocate for laws and policy for make sure, say, yes, we human space. Look at the 30% quota. We don't have that. The few women, the way they come up for, let them do something, let them participate in politics, let them contribute to national development, they will try for marginalizing, they try for who are them. How can we create space for other people to come up? So to us, for Charity Society and for the Consortium, we see that this one as an unfortunate situation, and we see this one as a bad precedent. We really don't want to see this kind of thing for happen in our country. how the other woman, they will know if he gets pregnant, the first lady for come up. So maybe the 30% we are talking about is not important. We just put an law. We cannot make law there at the end of the day. The who they make law, who they call about, it's very unfortunate. So I want to call on the public for letting get few things clear. One is that we as organization, as a consortium, we are here for make sure say yes. We force those that have the responsibility for make sure say we get what we want for make sure say women they contribute or they get the space for letting them contribute in diverse ways, ranging at political, economy, whatever, for letting contribute before. We are here to support that one. Any other thing where they swim against the side of that we cannot accept. Nothing no wrong for let the first lady give a woman a man support. Anybody can do that name. She has been the first lady over the comparatively not only in Africa but the whole world. God will contribute immensely towards nation development. Look at the project they will take. Don't pull an about politics. Let's look at all those strides the way the first lady don't take. Look at all the life, the impact we don't make over the years. Well, that alone goes a long way. Those for party dynamics when they take us to that level. In fact, this is also a warning for even the party itself. You have to really mindful of what you should be doing. I think you should be consolidating instead of creating more division or creating problem. So like for me personally, I debunk this one and I call on the fourth estate to let us send this out loud. Of course, we have like 80% of the media now. Love send this information. Our role is not just to carry this one, but also add your own voice. That yes, we need to protect women. We need to create safer community. We need to make sure say women they get confidence and mindful. Let them do something. When they go in dignity, realize their full potential and contribute to national development. For now, I will stop here. I will come up with my own press release with working with other organizations to say yes, we clearly debunk this one. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Galima, for that very splendid presentation. We will now come to the crux of the matter. At this very important junction. We'll turn to Mr. Ahmed Yila for let him read the official press statement so as to help in your conveyance.
Yeah, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, colleagues, and good morning to the 40 states. I will now read the press release. The press release. National Consortium of Public Accountability condemns attempt to undermine national dignity during state opening of parliament, and therefore asks members of parliament to publicly apologize to the presidency and the press, to the president and the presidency, because we consider this one is an attack to the presidency. When you talk about the presidency, everything really around the president, nine the presidency. The National Consortium on Public Accountability and good corporate governance expresses deep concern over the conduct of few members of parliament behavior and some invitees during the state opening of sixth parliament on August 8, 2025, which was presided over by His Excellency President Dr. Julius Mario. It is believed that every year an official event and venue of state opening of parliament takes place in order to ensure its democratic legitimacy progresses. During this occasion, access is limited to the public and it is governed by strict protocols. Therefore, disruptive behavior, including mocking, disrespect, is completely unacceptable and prohibited by any citizens. Based on the evidence of law that supposedly should have been maintained, attained, and retained, that the president summarizes the achievement of his government to the member of parliament for a democratic debate. The process is considered legally and constitutionally one of the most stately, ceremonious, solemn, and unifying state function movement of democratic governance of the country. It is obvious that a deliberate act aimed at embarrassing or disrupting the office of the presidency were observed and widely reported. These acts represent a direct slur, aspersion, and provocation to the sanctity of democratic institution. The authority of the state, the state, and the collective dignity of the Sierra Leonean people. Apparently, while we find it unequivocally necessary for the expression of freedom of speech, but it must be done within the conformity and respect to presidency and the law. In essence, the right to debate, protest, and free expression is the fundamental principle of human rights, but judicious consideration of dignity and respect for same must be followed. In as much as the law says yes, it can also say no. The democratic credentials of Sierra Leone has significantly increased in the last 2 decades, climaxing with the appointment of His Excellency the President Dr. Julius Maravio as the President of the United Nations Security Council, and now the Chairman of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, as well as the election of the Excellency of the First Lady of the Republic of Sierra Leone as the President of the Organization of African First Ladies for Development. It is therefore clear that the President of Sierra Leone as Chairman of ECOWAS and the First Lady as the President of African First Ladies for Development belong to the global political community, and are being watched each time they attend a public event. In lieu of the above consideration, the National Consortium Public Accountability demands that the Speaker of Parliament must take immediate steps in reformatory, curative, and amendatory measure, now or never. Condemnation 1 of disruptive behavior of the members of Parliament. CSO's National Consortium Public Accountability unequivocally condemn an illegal practice in the legal system, whether physical, verbal, or symbolic, to disrespect the office of the President during a lawful and constitutional address in the nation. Such actions do not represent meaningful dissent, but rather erode national cohesion and undermine institutional stability. Vindication of democratic norms. The members of Parliament must show a strong commitment to democratic engagement and the constitutional order. Parliament is a platform for dialogue, accountability, and representation, not disruption, incitement, or political spectacle. 3. We call for responsible demonstration of leadership and political decorum within the framework of our democratic institutions. We call on the political actors, supporters, and institutional representatives to conduct themselves responsibly, especially during high-profile national events. 4. Appeal for national cohesion. Sierra Leone is still considered to be practicing what we call a new democracy, where the reverse of the democratic gains is likely to occur. Comparatively, USA and other parts of the world are practicing what we call a liberal democracy, where political parties see themselves as one. That is not the case here in the Sierra Leone. It is also not wise to make a summarized functions of members of Parliament for public opinion and judgment, for which singing provocative language is absent. We consider the following functions as from the legislative arm of the government. Firstly, we have what we call legislation. I cannot go over them. Just want to name some of the functions. Representation, oversight and accountability. We have what we call budget approval. Members of Parliament also assist constituencies with issues relating to government services and development projects. Law-making committee participation. We have, it is in due consideration, we demand that the members of Parliament have exhibited a lucky performance during the state opening of Parliament and needs to publicly apologize for prosperity and national reconciliation. Recommendations 1. Parliament should institute punitive actions. We conclude by reminding all citizens that democracy is not merely about elections or process. It is about process, participation, and principled leadership. Therefore, any attempt to disunite and divide our national platform for political provocation, especially within the People's House, undermines the very progress we have fought to achieve. 2, we respectfully demand that the Honourable Speaker of Parliament of the Republic of Sierra Leone respects the popular views of the public, that the First Lady was unconventionally treated during the state opening of Parliament, and tender and open an apology to the presidency. Action points that if these recommendations are not being followed, we will embark on the intensive and massive media engagement until the members of Parliament, especially the Speaker, to apologize to the first family, to the presidency. 2, we continuously engage the media. Upon the engagement of media, we will resort to the protests at the Parliament. This press release is signed by Executive Secretary Amede Miller, National Consortium on Public Accountability. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming.
Thank you very much. I think all of the very key actors they don't say what they for say, and now time for get a question, or follow will solicit questions from Una and also comment. But before I go to that, I just want to make a very salient point. From the day of independence to date, no First Lady na the Republic of Sierra Leone don't work like Her Excellency Dr. Fatima Mada Bio. She deserves our respect. She deserves our honor. In fact, there was a time I will even suggest say the First Lady, because of the kind of work we don't do in this country, we need to put a national statute for her. We say anybody where they enter or access Freetown, go see that statute so that we pick them. We will not born yet, the one that will not born, and the one that will get for born. Go see that statute, and somebody will point and say, this is the woman who liberated women and children in this country. Now it's time for us to go to questions and answers. And comment. We'll go turn to Melvin for coordinate that. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
2 questions at a time.
Members of the First Estate, we don't listen from the various speakers, and now the mic and the cameras want to know over to basically on the subject matter, and we want to go over to the late. Yes, sir. Name and institution.
Yes, we are asking you to the House of Parliament now, that the realm of democracy in any country. This wants the foundation, especially for journalism, lay on freedom of speech, freedom of expression. One for say, the people that sing at Parliament, we have the rights, and they're not calling them. But the first lady feel offended for that. What's going to be as defense to that?
Another question, please.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ibrahim Samuel at SLBC.
Okay.
I want to know whether on that terms are crime in MPs in Parliament.
Okay, thank you. Yes, sir.
Another question.
In the first place, Mr. Yila don't read the press release and I think self-explanatory. But in all of this, I think wherever there is a problem, we have to look at the root cause inside the thing start. And like we say, so many people can't get water somewhere. But the person they can't put the pieces and the water, they usually not clean. Ask them. And the way they go pull and make the water and all of this, I think this thing started somewhere. It started at the SFP convention. And during that time, the first lady was among those dancing to the song Women Are There Against.
No.
Let me finish.
Coach, please let the question.
It was, they were all in dancing mood at the convention when that song was being played. We all know say parliament, they can sing it. It's not about the first lady. When they have events, they can sing by themselves. That is normal. It's a basic banter. It happens at parliament. So why is it that this time around it is different? Usual banter way they can banter. Now the duam become an issue. And when the issue the SFP promote. So I think for me, the first we should have addressed first of all the delegate conference before you bring it to parliament. Because these are two different institutions. There are two different events. And this the Cabo Camp Parliament, it started from the convention. So I think for me, it's just this now just open comment. For me, the press should have also addressed what happened at the convention. I think Nayanda first the condemnation for those starts before you bring it to parliament. Because parliament, it's normal, say they keep answer themselves. So this is my honest opinion.
Okay. Last question.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. John Callow, representing the Times SA newspaper. There are other school of thought who hold the view that, irrespective of what transpired in Parliament recently, there have been this bantering before this time. Political appointees appointed by the president or nominated by the president that went through Parliament, they will only get verbal exchange with the office of the first lady before this time. And in all of this, those of us who are media people and including the civil society activists, we don't see some of them here. They don't float out on social media about exchanges between the first lady, things they come up from the first lady office, and if they come up from certain ministers appointed by the government, by the president. In all of this, the SFP not grab out, not come out and say that they condemn things like this. For say, well, this thing for stop, this is the office of the first lady and the wife of the president, nobody know for attack her, even if you talk, and they get your mama that house, your mama will talk about you, but you see you talk about. This all on the happy. And we have a president, who's a sitting president. You don't ever say a word, you don't ever talk. And even opposite happened at the party convention, when this proposed song they come up, he never talk, and even what happened at parliament, the president never talk. So, other school of thought will say, silence is consent. It's like the president cleverly endorse some of them here where they happen against the wife. And I want to see them as a society activist. Because in a situation like you get your wife from house, and things like this they happen, to tell you, you command them, they make one or two disrespectful statements against your wife. Then you ask the Dadina post, you don't caution that, they tell you, this is my wife. If you offend yourself, left her because of the respect for me. That's whatever happened, and this thing continues. So where is President Bill in all of this? Where is President Bill? Because people will see this as National Consortium Public Accountability is here fighting a dead horse because the matter then at the hands of the president. And the president won't ever say a word. And even if we pull countless number of press releases, if the president failed to act on this, there is no way this thing can handle. Now, we are on PI system. We are in the party gets more power than the parliamentary representative. So what has President Bio done to ensure that things like this will bring embarrassment to his wealth, to his political party, and to the nation? Where is President Bio in all of this?
Thank you very much. We'll all end it for now. Members of the press, thank you so much for very delicate questions. And again, like we say, the position here, let me understand the context. In the context of this conversation, I think say it's about parliament. To my senior colleague, Mr. Santi, if we want to get a thorough, a wholesome picture of why we're here, I want to direct my attention to Section 97 of the Constitution of Sierra Leone. We talk about responsibilities of members of parliament, and I will read that. It says the responsibilities of members of parliament shall include the following. A. All members of parliament shall maintain the dignity and image of parliament both during the sitting in parliament as well as in their acts and activities outside parliament. And it continues. B. All members of parliament shall regard themselves as representatives of the people of Sierra Leone and desist from any conduct by which they seek improperly to enrich themselves or alienate themselves from the people. And the question here is, what's happening in parliament? He bring the people together or he divide the people? And at this juncture, the stage is set. Co-chair from the IT board first for go. We'll start with Mr. Indo. Okay, Mr. Indo. The first question says, why should the First Lady be offended? You want to take that?
Of course. Any one parliamentarian can be president. You know, one made an abuser. They call it abuse President Bio for the presidency. Yeah? The song don't start from SLPP convention. And the word of parliament, they say state opening. They don't say SLPP opening, not to SLPP. Now, even when they follow some media forum, when they see APC versus SLPP, they argue. They say now on start. No, APC say no, SLPP now on start. But from the video, that shows clearly say the SLPP, some SLPP members of parliament not even get respect for the presidency or even the leadership, because President Bio is the leader of the SLPP and President Bio is the president of this nation, whether you like it or not. So the PR where we brought at the top box. Now at the time the current executive of Batiro Songa, because one was inside the peaceful bridge, the need for institute an action towards this by recalling some of them parliamentarians they are and replace them, because they're not to election anymore, only for spend money. You replace them with other people where value in our society, other people where get Sierra Leone at heart. But for make you see, they just say with the usher and the first lady, then song like that one day come able. Anybody where they think straight do not say automatically now this person that they point at. They just call me, they be in on content, then people begin call. People begin say all sorts of words. Automatically. Now me them point at. Whether they call me name or not call me name, you will see yourself. So this will always be same strong warning. If you cost me for even go protest at President Bio in Domot, we go do it. Because a slap na in Western face, now a slap to which put your Western in this country. So President Bio for take action now. He is the leader of the party, now the president of this nation. So an abuse to the presidency, an abuse to we will vote in this country. So we need that action for the done. And we need an apology from Parliament. And if they not apologize, when I relative executive secretary say, we get different type of action they will institute, because we are going to force them to do the job where they are for, not to forgo for child's play.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Anybody in the panel want for address is saying why should, let me take on one. Why should the First Lady be offended? We'll add to that.
Yes, just an addendum to what the other director say. I mean, we were created men, they can always say hints, not a master. And therefore, if that song was sung during the convention, the SLPP convention, we look at them as an in-house, situation. But when you come to Parliament, they say Sierra Leone House of Parliament. And more importantly, we were having not only diplomats, but other political parties. When we go say that APC, no, there were other political parties. As far as I know, and as far as the Consortium knows, we will get PMDC, people in there, we will get NGC, we will get C4C, they like and they like. Thank you very much, my brother. So again, if the same song, then singer, just immediately when they don't usher in, is it Sergeant at Arms? When at the corner, where the Sergeant at Arms. They don't call this lady, this woman, this mama inside. Then they begin to sing that song. You don't need for come up from Pluto, from Harvard, from Cambridge, or Oxford, for let you understand, say, na me. Because Creole say, please, no a master. And therefore, that song has been sung prior to the openings of state parliaments, and no can sing an ayaba. It means the First Lady, in fact, emotionally touched statement the way they come up from her. Isn't that they cannot now? We don't hear it from Mr. Hidolo Conte say, if na me, I know they even participate.
I'll walk out.
But because of somebody
Immediately.
we get thick skin, because of somebody when a mama, because of somebody when knows a great responsibility to women and girls inside this country, under this country, now that makes it sit down for your development. Otherwise, she would have behaved otherwise. Yeah, so again, the question of why it take offense, those are the reasons why she took offense.
In summary, the platform was not the right platform
at all.
Yes, sir.
Yes, of course. I want to make a few observations with regards to the comments the journalists make. The brother Kamabo say,
why you dance to the convention?
Exactly.
Then
exactly. Why you dance at the convention, then you come to parliament and vex. These are two different circumstances.
I am saying the press release did not speak to what happened
The inception.
at the convention. Because that is where the problem started. And if you have to address the problem, you have to look at the roots. You have to start.
Honorable before this thing, I think say the agenda now we leave it down to what transpired in Parliament.
Yeah, I understand. It has to be condemned from the onset.
For subsequent follow-up, you can go to the roots. But in this case, it's about waiting happen at the People's House of Representatives. That was SLPP's House of Representatives. They can argue that it's our internal affairs, although we are not mindful of the consequences in my estimation. Apparently, parliaments represent the people of Syria. So in this case, it's a different. If we say one will say, if we want to compare Bintumani and parliament, it will be the false equivalence. Because Bintumani had no constitutional legitimacy in the sense of national provision of the constitution. Of course, it was a party activity as provided in section 35, 36 as in the constitution. But in this case, parliament is a creature of the constitution. If you get Boku provision of the constitution from 70 Tego now, 75 Tego. So in this case, I think it's about the place. As journalists, we always argue about place, time, and all those things. It's about the place. I think that's the logic of the constitution to be. Yes,
yeah, in addition to waiting the dossier, I just want to emphasize that waiting the journalists, Salty and Kamalo say, that it has to do with we refer to as the overt angle and the covert angle of waiting all transfer between Parliament and that of what's happening to money at a party level. These are two different scenarios, so we cannot compete. We cannot compare 5-month experience woman Namairos, so that of a 20 years experience woman Namairos are two different things. Then looking at the question where Santi said that this will not happen for a very long time. Of course, it is obvious that you know, in political dimensions, then kind of thing that will take place, and for very long time, I don't say you don't condemn them here that you know, the insult is too much for the first lady. I think it is high time we supported. I mean, there is action that you know, enough is enough. We don't humiliate the woman too much. I think this is high time we stop that kind, you know, embarrassment and to woman, because that will make for the woman back off from politics. That will make for the woman not come up or challenge the man in terms of politically, in terms of other, you know, interventions and this. I think say it is all a prohibition to, you know, to it's not the right things away from the done. But we from the National Consortium on Public Accountability, we look at the functions of Parliament. That Parliament is a French derivative, which means parler. That means that people away from going to Parliament and people away competent way for able to advocate and talk on the behalf of the constituent and not on the reverse. So, I think we will ask back other questions.
Yeah. Okay. No. Only 2 more questions. We'll take after that. I'm coming to your question. The reason is, I asked, where is President doing all of this?
All right. Okay.
I expect you guys do always sit on the app.
I won't touch on that. If the president will not take action, he will not protest now.
Where is President doing all of this?
The
president not ever talk. You never say a word about it. No. It's like silence being processed.
No, you know. Santi, when they can say if the president will not take action, he will not protest.
Santi, okay, it's okay.
You ask a very personal but also public question. You're okay now. Thank you very much. But by the way, let me not forget that the president also, as he swear oath to the people of Zimbabwe, he subscribed to an oath for better or worse to him wife. So if we can talk, I think say in a man like in wearing shoes, you know who side in the corner.
The wife who shoots the corner. The wife who shoots the corner.
No, we are saying the president gets in power for talk on his personal affairs. Again, on the talk, the issue of undertones are not allowed. Samura, you don't have argument for long. And you don't say whose side undertone becomes overtone. It's not allowed in the standing orders. Undertone should never be overtones. For the fact that they don't hear, they don't want to chant, it's not an undertone. So people argue that, an undertone, yes, it's a parliamentary privilege for MPs to make undertone, but previous speakers always ruled against that. So to answer your question, undertone not to crime, but also if are smart, not crime. It's overtone. Again, I think we want to exhaust your questioning. Because the question the way come first is very important. We come to Mr. Bakari. Somebody asked one very important question. We're going for do it. Of course, some two people need for do. And the fact that to you come to the issues we're going for do it, beauty money. Again, beauty money is not partly it's not entirely different, because I would say you say one of the other candidates will emerge. In person, now is sitting member of parliament. I'm not mentioning it now. So it cannot be unconnected with one for the elections and others. I'm not mentioning anything. When you can go and find out. You can go and find out.
So the follow-up question to that.
No, let's be orderly.